Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me today. My name is Anwesha, and this interview is a part of my entrepreneurship project. So, Mr. Swaroop Satish is the founder of Skillemme, a learning and development platform focused on building future ready talent. So, before starting Skillemme, Sir has also had an extensive experience in the learning, training, and edtech space, working closely with organizations and professionals on upskilling and workforce development. Sir is also an alumnus of Rice University, and he has also done his MBA with a specialization in marketing and human resources. And this also makes, so being an alumnus from Christ University, this also makes the conversation even more meaningful for me, being a student from Christ as well. So I'm really looking forward to learning about your journey, the problems you identified in the market, and how your experiences shape Skillemme. So to begin with, um, how would you introduce Skillemme as to someone who's hearing it for the first time?
Yeah, thank you so much, Anwisha, to have me. I'm honored to be part of your project, and I'll justify my best to give good insights which can really help you and the community going forward,
My
right?
pleasure, sir.
So, Skillemme, right? So, it all starts with the name, correct? So, for us, it was very important as a startup to have the right name which can communicate to the mass what the organization does,
Mhm.
right? So, we are a two founders for Skillemme, and we were having a deep conversation what the company name should be. And I was very particular that it should start with skill, right? Because that's the first word when you say what you do. When I say skill, so you know that it's something to do in terms of capability building,
Right.
right? So we took more than a month because if you see in today's date, a lot of domains are taken with skill, right?
Mm.
Every other organization have bidded I and got the name right. And we were like very particular. How do we get our organization starting with skill, which is easy to communicate to people and to our end customers what we do, right? And I must say, I had a interesting moment after spending 15, 20 days having multiple to and fro, something starting before, something starting after skill,
Mhm.
but something it was not resonating to what we do, and we were like going roundabout, right? And second big challenge is you should also get a domain to register an organization.
Right.
So it's not just the name, but you should also be mindful that is this name already taken by certain domains? Is it already registered? So it is like a good activity for us when we started up to just get the name right.
Mhm.
Okay. So hold your laugh because this is going to be a little funny. So I was taking my shower and in my bathroom, I just saw a shampoo which was always there, but that moment I just read it as Tresemme, right? So Tress was in caps and MA was in small. Okay. So that caught my attention what MA means, right? I quickly came out of my shower, took my laptop, quickly Googled it, what MA means. It means universal, universe, right? So that's where skill MA came into play,
Mhm.
right? So Skillemme means we are a skill universe. Okay. So we got the name right. We checked in GoDaddy. The domain was available for throwaway price because nobody would have thought about having a
Right.
Tresemme to Skillemme, right? So we got the domain. We have registered as a private limited organization in Bangalore. We're based out of Bangalore headquartered, and our office is in HSR. And what Skillemme does is also a good narration we wanted when we talk to people, right? Because not everybody may relate Skillemme. It will be Skill
Mm.
Me or
Yeah.
different sessions come, but it is for us it's Skill MA, right? And we were very particular when we meet people. Along with Skill MA, there should be something which should say what we do. And
Mm.
that's why we picked a tagline saying reskill, upskill, new skill, right? So that's Skillemme for you, right? So if anybody asks, what do you do? I'm part of Skillemme. All we do is reskill, upskill, new skill, and my job is done.
Now
Yeah,
that I
over
hear
to
the
you.
story, the name makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I take it very close to my heart and very
Mm.
proud of that moment, and thankful to my wife for using Tresemme, and that's how Skillemme is born.
Lovely. Love the story. So, um, So before starting Skillemme, could you tell us a little bit about your early life and what your career looked like before you entered like the online education and learning and development space?
Yeah. So, if I have to talk about my early life, so I'm born, brought up in Bangalore. I'm a proper Bangalorean by heart. Uh, I've got jobs across India, but I always made a choice to stay in Bangalore and work for them. And I was very particular that Bangalore is my hub, right? For all good reason. I did my schooling in Bishops,
Hmm.
St. Joseph's. I did my college in Christ, right? So that gave me a lot of exposure to meet multiple people, right? Because Bangalore has always been center for a lot of students across India to come and study,
Right.
right? So I was blessed to experience those learning journeys with different cultures, diversity at my early life itself when I was in school and college, right? Uh, and as I completed my master's, I got into the corporate world. But one thing I was very clear, Anvisha, when I got into my professional life into corporate space, it was quite disturbed environment across because those days there were a lot of KPOs, BPOs, a lot of insurance-based companies, right? So
Right.
a lot of IT companies. But I come from a BCom and MBA in finance, I mean HR and marketing. So my
Mhm.
interest was more on the business side of things, HR side of things. Right, so definitely I'll not talk more on tech, but it was for us as a student to a corporate, it was more to do in terms of these industries,
Hmm.
right? A lot of call centers or finance related organization, your banking, right? And they were looking for many students those days to get into this kind of a professions when I was there, right? But I was very clear at my early career that I want to get into the HR community space,
Hmm.
and my specialization was into marketing, right? So that helped me to have the dual specialization. One, I understand HR.
Hmm.
Two, as a person, I'm more of uh, connecting, networking. I would like to spend more time knowing people, curious to know. So I come with that kind of a mindset at my early career, right? So that helped me to be very clear that I should be part of HR community. Okay, I should be helping, supporting HR as a service.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's where my journey started. I have completed about 21 years in the enterprise space, closely working with a lot of organization to help them in recruitment, onboarding freshers, skill development across technology, behavioral leadership, executive education, right? So this last 21 years have been a complete learning for me, and I've always been curious to learn. And that's where Skillemme is all about today, right? That's my 21 years of diverse experience within the HR community across different genres of skill.
As a BCom student myself and someone who's also uh, planning to go into the marketing and HR, I really resonate and I really liked this part of the conversation. So moving on, so I've read somewhere and that you've mentioned that you left a very high-paying job because of the zid that you wanted to build future-ready talent. So was entrepreneurship always a part of the plan? Was it always on the books, or was it like a gradual decision?
Should I be honest to you?
Yeah.
So not at all, not
Okay.
as a kid,
Hmm.
not even today, right? So I see myself as I enjoy what I do,
Hmm.
right? The outcome is Skillemme.
Right.
Okay. Even today, I see myself supporting the HR community, right? Which has to be part of a different organization because
Hmm.
my role was to enable the organization which I had me to set up the B2B vertical for them for Pan
Hmm.
India, right?
Okay.
From hiring to setting up the offering to the website to manage the P&L, the operations delivery, right?
Right.
So I always enjoy doing that for others, and I said it's time for me to do, right? So to answer you, it was never an idea for me. I continue to do what I was doing 21 years,
Hmm.
and today I have the experience and joy that I'm enabling others to get salaries.
Right.
Unlike I
Yeah.
was getting paid every month. So my priority now has changed that our team, our partners, they have to be paid first, and then we have to make sure that we are also earning at the same time.
Right. So, switching from like a job to something that you're building of your own, I'm sure there were a lot of fears and risks associated with it. So, how did you mentally prepare for this transition?
So first things first, my 21 years was always about learning.
Hmm.
So uh, why I took this decision is only because I was prepared for this. Looks like it was a calling, right?
Okay. Hmm.
So I'll give a little context, right? When we
Yeah.
talk of skill development, this is important for you to know so that this makes it easy for me as well.
Right.
When we talk of skilling, again, there are technology skilling which is required for
Hmm.
any engineering background, right? If you're into your MBAs or managements and other things, right? You may need soft skill leadership
Yeah.
skills, functional skills as an experience, right? As you grow up the ladder for high potentials and senior management, they may need some exposures from executive education point of view, like your premium institution where
Hmm.
your skill is enhanced from the lot of research and renowned faculty member taking those sessions, right? So in my case, this 21 years has been working with different organizations. So if I have to quote you, Anvisha, I worked with Franklin Covey, which was more into leadership, speed of trust, right? And their seven habits, right? Which helped me to become more a consultative kind of a approach as a person than selling as a person, right? So I learned a lot from Franklin Covey in terms of how do you put yourself as a consultant than looking at me that you're trying to pitch in or sell something to you as a person, right? And eventually, I was also part of a Pearson Educom JV company,
Yeah.
which was into skill development for engineering students. And we had about 300 odd institution those days. And I was playing an important role in terms of identifying industry connect to these students when they were in the campus. So helping them to get the projects, helping them in terms of placements, right? So that's where I learned a lot on the student and fresher as a mindset.
Right.
Okay. And eventually I've moved to companies like Edureka, Simply Learn,
Hmm.
who are more into online digital learning, be it technology, process related skill
Hmm.
development program. I was also part of Times of India Group, Times Pro,
Yeah.
and Imart, where they were more in terms of executive education, where they tied up with premium institution like IIM, IIT,
Right.
XLRIs, and a lot of premium institution outside India, and help enterprise customers for skill development.
Hmm.
Okay, so if I have to step back and look at myself in a mirror, I could see that one exposure from a leadership, one exposure from soft skills, technology, executive education, right? So some of it made me so comfortable because that's what I've learned over the period of years. And Skillemme was like a no-brainer for me, right? And
Right.
that's what I said. I continued and enjoyed to do what I was doing
Hmm.
as a sum than a particular track.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So, so, what exactly was the problem statement or like the gap in the market that you identified? As you said, you worked in so many various companies. What did you feel was not being addressed properly, which made you want to start Skillemme? And where do you think like the existing platforms were falling short?
Okay, I'll put it in two simple words.
Mm-hmm.
See, every edtech organization today are doing a fantastic job. They're highly invested, they have the right set of team
Mm-hmm.
and right set of mindset to support the end customer, be it
Right.
individuals, enterprise. Okay, so from far when I was seeing, they've been helping from a learning standpoint.
Hmm.
Okay, and they have a lot of off-the-shelf programs, right?
Yeah.
But what I realized is organization to organization, right? Industry to industry.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see any organization, they have top management, your mid, and your entry level,
Right.
right? And what I notice in the market, not one size fits all,
Hmm.
right? Because your learning journeys are different from a different institution, right?
Right.
Your learning is different from the different streams within your campus, right?
Yeah.
So I cannot help you with a skill development which is addressing all the streams.
Mm,
right? I realize customizing the skills are very important to the end business owners, right? And
mm,
the end learners, because they're not able to relate the
mm,
context in which the content can be delivered, right? So the
yeah,
gap, what I found to be very specific, Anvisha, is how do I relate a content to you as a person, which you're part of a particular function, which you're part of a particular industry.
mm,
Okay,
okay,
so that's why we bring in a lot of customization. We bring
right.
in more in terms of real case. We bring the content from the relevance point of to you as a individual and you as the organization which you're part of it. So that makes us different from others, where we are not off the shelf service providers,
Right.
but we sit, understand what your needs are, and since we are catering tech, behavioral leadership, right? Even the executive education, that gives us the muscle to understand what your problems are and what your needs are, and accordingly customize those to you as an end user.
Mhm.
I hope you got the context there.
Yeah, yeah. When I was going through the website as well, I think I came across the marketing and search engine optimization, and that's something that really interested me, and I'll definitely look into that. Um,
Mm.
so yeah. So moving on, can you walk me through like the market research and the feedback process that you followed while building Skillemme?
Okay. So that's why I started off with Skillemme as Skill Universe, right?
Yeah,
So when I
right.
say universe, what Skillemme does is we provide tech, behavioral leadership, executive education,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we meet customer, we listen in terms of what they're looking for, right? So when we talk of research, we spend more time with our customers, right? So we have a regular stakeholder meetings, regular catch up with our end customers from the L&D HR communities and business leaders. Our research purely comes from listening to them saying that, hey, you know what? This is the organization I'm leading, and these are some of the challenges we are facing within the ecosystem, right? Either in terms of capability building, competency building, or there is a new business which they've won where they're trying to help the teams in terms of enabling them to get those projects and executing those projects. So a lot of our research comes from listening to our customers, right? And
Right.
our 21 years of experience in this space, right? We also have certain frameworks where we interact and get those conversations in place.
Okay.
So the research is purely from listening to them,
Mhm.
right? And accordingly assisting them in terms of what kind of support Skillame can help them with.
Okay. And were there any insights from like let's say your early users that surprised you or made you want to look into that more?
Uh, See, we started as a B2B
B2B.
organization,
Yeah.
right? Couple of things surprised us, right?
Hmm.
One, a lot of the content what we do, Anvisha, I realized these content is very relevant to today's students,
Hmm.
right? For graduates and postgraduates as well, right? What surprised me is like this content can be really meaningful to students
Hmm.
because they are the future who are getting into the corporate space, right? And what am I doing today? Helping those people who have already joined as a freshers or a lateral to skill them up.
Right.
By surprise, we were able to also capture the skill development programs to institution,
Hmm.
right? So we are closely working with universities
Right.
where we do a lot of skill development programs, which can help them to become a better individual,
Hmm.
right? Whether you want to move into business, whether you want to go for your higher education, or whether you want to get into the professional world, right?
Right.
So we were able to identify what are the skills which is required for a student, which can help them to grow in all these three streams, right?
Hmm.
So that's one thing which came in a surprise. Second, as an organization, as I told you, we've been more of a India-centric service
Right.
providers, right?
Yeah.
We've been working pan-India, helping customers pan-India. To our surprise, this content started got it consuming even outside India, right?
Oh.
So we started delivering programs outside India, right? Be it US, Europe,
Yeah.
uh, even Philippines, right? So a lot of other out borders of India, we started delivering that. So
Mm-hmm.
these two things really caught to our surprise that as a startup, right, getting into the skill space because we are bootstrap, right? We are
Sure.
not investor driven. We are not spending too much on marketing, right? But we are very mindful of what we are doing, and our work is taking places across uh, boundaries now.
Right. So skill development as a student really resonates with me because now when I sit for like internships and like when I apply for them, they no longer care that I'm okay, let's say like a BCom graduate or so. They always ask about my soft skills, okay, how are your Excel, how is your financial modeling and stuff like that. So that's
Very
something
true.
definitely we students have to work on.
I
So
know,
you
I know.
mentioned, that you are bootstrapped, right? So could you tell us about like your financing journey of Skillemme and what were some of the challenging parts that you had to manage finances early on?
Fair enough. So, see, we were so used to getting your monthly paycheck, right? I
Mhm.
mean, life becomes very comfortable because come what may, the money is in your account, right?
Right.
When you when we started up Skillame, one thing we were very clear, whatever initial investment which is required to start an organization,
Mm-hmm.
we need to do that because that's our job. And from there, whatever we do as a part of our work and our contribution should help to run the business on its own, right?
Right.
So when you really look at, we're not looking the external investor to invest in Skillame, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, it's so customer centric, right? So that we know that what we deliver is what is getting back to the business,
Right.
right? And we've been focused that very consciously that whatever we do should help business to run on its own,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we are very clear that our first year, we have completed about a year now, and
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
stepped into two, and we're very clear in our mind that uh, see why we started Skillem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because one, you have the flexibility to operate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, definitely we are catering to different genres of skilling,
Right.
right? Every organization have varied skills,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we come with that mindset, so we're very clear that Skillemme is there to support you as an organization, or
Right.
you as an institution, or you as a student, or you as a learner,
Mm-hmm.
right? So since we come with that strong mindset, for us, investment is from the external world is a no for now.
Right.
Okay, because the way we are operating, we're very clear, lean, clean, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing a lot of mistakes as a employee in different organizations. We should not repeat the same year,
Right.
right? So since we come with those kind of a mindset, we are able to bootstrap in terms of what we have contributed, and
Right.
from there business is going places,
Mm-hmm.
and we are self sustained mindset is what we have, and we are growing with time.
Right. That's great to hear, and I hope it does really well.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you spoke about HR, and since you also have an HR background, so a strong
Mhm.
team is absolutely essential for any startup. So, how do
Mhm.
you build your team, and what is your like idea behind building a team?
Okay, see, by now we would have got a sense, we come with a very open mind,
Open mind,
Anwesha.
right?
Um, See, there are a few things when we look at our teams. For example, one of my co-founding member,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Veerbhadra
Yeah,
Patil,
right.
he worked along with me for more than 15 years,
Mm,
right? And that's where we said that, hey, you know what? We both have certain skills and how we both can complement each other.
mm,
Okay. We should not duplicate our efforts, but we need to complement each other, right? And that's when we said, you know what? Me as Swaroop, I'm good at one, two, three, four.
right.
You as Veerbhadra Patil, you're good at one, two, three, four, right? So focus on what you're good at. Let me focus what I'm good at. We
Mm,
don't duplicate our effort and
right.
time, right? So when we look at hiring people, because I meet a lot of people and we have hired quite a few of them,
Mm,
even from the campuses hire as well.
right.
See, what we look at is learning, Anvisha, right? You
Mm-hmm.
should come with a learning mindset. So my 21 years of journey is been full of learning, right? See, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an engineer, but I can connect to the CXOs, your CTOs,
Right.
I understand and I've learned what is required to
Hmm.
have those right conversations, right? So learning is very important when we look at people who can onboard.
Hmm.
Accountability, right? We use a lot of tools like Zoho CRM for our
Hmm.
day-to-day work, right? And we spend morning 10 to 15 minutes a quick team huddle, right? In
Hmm.
terms of what
Yeah.
is required, what's not required. And
Hmm.
from there, it's your responsibility, right? You're there in Skillemme for a reason, right? So we enable you to have those ownership. We are not there to check with you every second. Hey, you know what you're doing for next 5 minutes? Are you sitting? You're working? No, you take your complete responsibility, right? So when we hire people, we look at learning skills, right? Be open because there's nothing called I've learned it all, right?
Right.
Even after completing 20 plus years, I'm learning today also, right?
Hmm.
And it is continuous. That's where excuse me. That's where Skillame is all about reskill, upskill, new skill. It's
Yes.
continuous,
Right.
right? Whatever you learned a year back or whatever you learned yesterday may not be relevant tomorrow.
Hmm.
So you always have a mindset to learn.
Hmm.
Accountability. Be accountable for what you are, right? Because if you're not accountable, we are not here to make you accountable, right?
Right.
Uh, that's where, if I have to go back and said, we enjoy what we do
Hmm.
because we take that accountability, we take that responsibility, we take that ownership. As long
Right.
as you are able to do this on your own, that's when you
Hmm.
love doing it. Otherwise, if somebody start telling you no, that's where
Hmm.
you get burnt because that's not what you like,
Right.
right? So from
Yeah.
my point of view, learning, accountability,
Hmm.
ownership could really help a lot of individual to be
Hmm.
part of skill or in their careers as they move forward.
Right. So, almost nearing the end of this interview. So, to conclude, what advice would you give to students or aspiring entrepreneurs who also want to start their own ventures?
Okay, be curious.
Hmm.
Even today also I get very curious. Like
Right.
no,
Hmm.
uh, right? So whether you want to get into your further education or you want to get into different professional organization or start something on your own, be
Hmm.
curious,
Hmm.
right? So that will help you to keep yourself to learn more, right? See, if you're curious, like you feel restless, like you want to know more
Want to
what's
know more.
happening,
Right.
right? So once you know more,
Hmm.
then you start learning.
Hmm.
Isn't it? So once you start learning, then you'll start practicing.
Hmm.
Once you start practicing, and that's where the magic happens. When
Hmm.
you do certain things again and again, it becomes a habit. Once it becomes a habit, the output is bound to happen,
Hmm.
right? In this process, you may learn, relearn, fail, succeed. All this becomes part of your learning journey,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And try to implement that same for everything what you do. As a
Yeah.
student, curious to know what are the new skills which are coming in the market.
Hmm.
So you can take the right stream, which can
Hmm.
enable you to become what you want to become eventually,
Right.
right? So if you're looking to get into organizations,
Hmm.
be curious to know what organizations are hiring for as a
Hmm.
fresher,
Right.
right? So that will help you beyond your studies. There are certain certification which can really help students
Right.
to get into the corporate world. That's
Hmm.
your competitive advantage,
Hmm.
right? See, students are not just meant to study their exams and then wait for somebody to interview and get into the organization, right?
Right. Yeah.
In today's date, it's so digital that networking is such a powerful platform
Right.
where even when you're in your final year or even before you complete your exams,
Hmm.
if you're able to use the tools right, you'll get absorbed as a student itself, right? A
Right.
lot of inter programs are there, right? And when you involve yourself, see, go with a mindset to learn. Don't go with a mindset to do a job.
Right.
So when you go with a mindset to learn,
Hmm.
then you're quite open. Like you may like different stream, you may like different kind
Hmm.
of functions,
Hmm.
and there you start pursuing things. Curious, learning, practicing, keep doing that again and again on different genres, and I think so you are what you are. You'll
Hmm.
realize that's your strength and that's what you love doing, and your love will take you places.
Hmm. That's some great advice. So, is there any like a common mistake you would advise students to avoid, or are you more like a make mistakes and continue learning type of a person?
See, I don't know what is a mistake, first of all. Right? See, it
Yeah,
could be a mistake for others, but it's a
hmm.
learning for you.
Learning for you,
Right? So
right?
there's nothing called mistake as such, right?
Hmm.
uh, Going back curious, when you're curious, you really
Hmm.
don't know what it is, right?
Right,
So when I started Skillemme, see, I don't come with a business background. None of my
right.
parents, because my mom was a teacher, dad was
Hmm.
into accounts, right? So we didn't come with a strong business mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I'm today is only because of my curious.
Hmm.
Will I fail? I should not be, right?
Right.
Because failure happen when you're not clear.
Hmm.
Clarity is very important, right?
Okay.
So as
Yeah.
a student, right, I request that get clarity,
Hmm.
right? Get that understanding. So as I told you, be curious, right? There's nothing called a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Keep yourself uh, ready to be part of future initiatives, right? And all I would say is be patient, right?
Mm-hmm.
Build that skill.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time. The output is bound to happen.
Right. So, with this, we come to the end of the interview. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and sharing such valuable insights. So, listening to your journey, especially as a Christ University alumnus myself, has been very inspiring and extremely helpful for my project. And I really appreciate you taking out time for this. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Do reach out if you need any more insights on
Yes,
this. Yeah.
definitely.